What's up, y'all? What if the version you've been running from is exactly the one that you need to embrace? In a world constantly pressuring us to be flawless, successful, and always improving, we've lost something crucial, and that is peace. Not the kind of peace that you get from finishing your to-do list or hitting a goal, but the deeper kind. The kind that says, even now, as I am enough. Welcome to today's video, Finding Peace in Imperfection, a Modern Guide. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by expectations, tired of chasing perfection, or just disconnected from yourself, this is for you, so let's dive deep. At one point, I used to personally struggle with feeling like I had to be perfect in order to be loved, to succeed, or to matter. And it starts young. Grades, likes, image, and then it morphs into careers, body goals, social clout. Every scroll in your feed becomes a reminder of what you are not. So social media, while it is an amazing tool, it has distorted how we view success, happiness, and even ourselves. But here's the truth. Perfection is not only unrealistic, it is paralyzing. And when you constantly chase an ideal version of yourself, you never get to appreciate the real one. The perfectionist mindset feeds anxiety, burnout, and self-doubt. We begin editing our personalities in real life, the way we filter photos. We stop trying new things because we fear we won't be perfect at them. We don't rest because we feel we haven't earned it. And that is not peace, that is just straight up pressure. I personally have struggled with this for a lot of my life. And I've still struggled with it in recent times. But I've also learned to find balance within it and come to accept a lot of the things and learn that I'm never going to perfect this either. And that's okay. And that goes into this next part. Peace doesn't come from control, it comes from acceptance. The moment you stop resisting your flaws and start seeing them as part of your humanity, you reclaim your power. And think about it. Some of the most beautiful art, music, and stories came from people who were messy, complicated, and far from perfect. And you don't find peace by fixing everything, because you can't fix everything. You find it by embracing what's here, by giving yourself permission to be a work in progress. You don't need to wait until you have the perfect body, the perfect relationship, or the perfect mindset to feel good about yourself. In fact, chasing peace externally never works. The job title won't do it. The number on the scale won't do it. The partner can't do it. These things might add joy or pride, for sure. But peace comes from how you relate to yourself. Radical self-compassion is how we begin. Speak to yourself like you would to a close friend. Accept that mistakes are data and not definitions. You know, part of the issue about all of this is that modern society isn't even built for inner peace. We live in an achievement-obsessed culture. You're praised for doing more, faster, and better. So if you scroll, not even consciously, comparing yourself to people's curated highlights, suddenly your real life looks dull, broken, or behind. But comparison is a thief, not just of joy, but of presence. It pulls you out of your life and into someone else's illusion. This tech-fueled pressure cooker doesn't slow down unless you make it. And that means intentionally disconnecting. Going outside without your phone, journaling, deep conversations, therapy, stillness, creating space to remember who you are when you are not performing. We are overstimulated, overinformed, and underconnected to ourselves, and we need to let go. But letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means loosening the grip. We grip so tightly to who we think we should be, we miss the beauty of who we are. And the truth is, most of us suffering doesn't come from failure, it comes from resistance, trying to control every outcome, micromanage every flaw, and constantly hide the parts we think are unworthy. Letting go is brave. It's saying, I don't have to be perfect to be powerful. It's giving yourself room to rest without guilt, to say no without explanation, to change your mind, to be seen in your rawness. That's where connection lives, and that's where real life begins. When you let go of perfection, you make space for peace, for grace, and for authenticity, and nobody can take that from you. So I mentioned that I've struggled with this myself, and if you're watching this video, you probably have struggled with it too. So the question here is, how do we live this? Start with these principles. Name your inner critic. Give it a voice so you can separate from it. When it speaks, say, that's not me, that's the critic. I know this may sound kind of goofy, sound kind of crazy, but it really does work. I personally believe all of us have that inner voice in our head that's judgmental towards us and other people as well. And usually, that voice does not align with our true selves. Next one is celebrate your small wins. Perfectionists overlook progress. Pause and honor your effort. Those small wins count, and they count every single time. This next one, I'm currently practicing as we speak. Create before you're ready. Whether it's a video, a drawing, a conversation, just start. Done is better than perfect, and you learn along the way. And that is the main way you're gonna learn. Next one is unfollow and mute. Clean out your feed, and if it doesn't inspire you, it is probably draining you. It has a big effect on how we do things day to day. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how much can change just by doing this. Now, I can tell you from personal experience, it's worth giving a shot. The next one is journal your messy thoughts. No grammar checks, no filters, just let it out. This one personally got me out of my comfort zone plenty of times, and it started to help me kind of get that inner critic out of my head and realize what were my true thoughts compared to just shit that was curated from watching other stuff. In a way, it was almost like I was cleaning out my brain and just organizing everything within. Connect with safe people as well. Connecting with safe people, share your imperfect self with those who hold space. Being around safe people, good people, it can help us get reassured at times when we're experiencing a lot of self-doubt. And people who are really going to call you out on your behavior and help you get grounded back to reality. The next one is mindful self-talk and a perspective shift. So I replace I've failed with I learned. I replace I'm not enough with I'm growing. Once I was really able to make that change in my brain, everything changed with it. How you talk to yourself is one of the most important things, so learn it. You also need to set boundaries with ambition. Strive, but not at the cost of your own peace. And for me personally, this one's about balance. And it's one of the most difficult things I've had to learn in life, and it's still always going to be a work in progress, something I want to get into in another video. I still heavily encourage that you work hard on your goals and get to where you want to be, but setting boundaries with ambition is a must. This one's going to sound like the opposite, but practice doing nothing. And I don't mean all the time, nothing like that, but sit in stillness and let your nervous system relax. It's about meditation and relaxation. We put our mind and body and spirit through a lot, and it's good to be able to sit with ourselves and enjoy the silence. Almost like a physical and mental reset. This last one is arguably the most uncomfortable, maybe the hardest one to do for some people. It was hard for me. Speak out loud what you usually hide, because shame dissolves in the light. You can do this with yourself or with other safe people. We can learn to give ourselves the right feedback and get the feedback from others to help us ground ourselves and move forward. And when you say it out loud, you can directly address the issue and start to work on it over time, whatever it might be. This will bring a lot of awareness to yourself and others around you who are willing to help. None of these are quick fixes, but they are patterns that rewire the way you live. Here's what a lot of people get wrong. Peace doesn't mean giving up. It's not lazy, and it's not low standards. Peace is a practice, one you return to every time life gets loud. One you defend in a world that profits from your insecurity. Finding peace in imperfection is a modern rebellion. You're choosing to step off the hamster wheel and live from wholeness, not hustle. And when you do that, you stop chasing worth and start embodying it. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're just learning how to come home to yourself. So if you've been waiting to be perfect before you feel proud, stop. If you've been hiding your flaws so people will accept you, stop. You're allowed to take up space exactly as you are. You are allowed to rest, to be messy, to try again. This is your reminder that the path to peace doesn't begin when everything is fixed. It begins the moment you stop running from your humanity. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below. Let me know how you've struggled with perfection, or what practices have helped you start embracing your flaws. And if you found this helpful, consider sharing it with someone else who needs this message. Thank you for being here, and remember, you're already enough.